Hi everybody, it's Maya here. Well, first of all, I wanted to take a quick moment to thank all of my new subscribers who I'm guessing found me through the Trail of Kindness tag. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really, really appreciate it. And well, I guess for those of you who are new to my videos, I will just very quickly tell you that this is my 11th month of 11th cycle, not month, but 11th cycle of trying to conceive. So yeah, we're getting up there to the scary numbers. um, and as of right now, I'm thinking I'm 10 DPO. I can't really be sure. I'm not temping or I haven't temped, so I'm basing myself off of OPKs, and I had a positive OPK on cycle day 12. And on cycle day 13 for that matter. We did manage to get our timing right then, but yeah, it was just difficult for me because, well, I had like this idea, like, okay, this time around, I am really going to use the OPKs the way I'm supposed to. Only use them in the afternoon, at the same time of day, da 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 da. However, I started taking OPKs the day we got back from London. So this was Wednesday the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. And unfortunately, also on Wednesday the 29th was the final stretch for us getting our house ready for the plasterer's arrival. And so we worked really long hours. Also, at the house right now, there isn't a toilet. So it's not like I could really test while I was out there. So that made my testing very irregular. I think the first OPK I took was around midnight, and then the next day I took it at like 3 in the afternoon. Yeah, it was less than perfect, but I did get a positive OPK, and we did get in a couple of tries. Um, Amazingly, because both my husband and I were like absolutely knackered. I have never been as tired as I was those days. Well, maybe today. But yeah, it was just a lot. And so yeah, I just like in my past couple cycles, I've decided against testing unless I'm late. Because if anything, I know that I am not to be trusted when thinking there are symptoms, because I'm horrible at knowing what things mean. I'm just like disastrous. I'm like, oh, a twinge. Oh, that's sore. And then I end up with bupkis. So I am not going to be testing. I have one digital test in my house so that I've had since November, and I am not going to break it open unless I am sure it's going to say the P word. Because I cannot take a test telling me I'm not pregnant. I can take a line or the absence of a line. I cannot take the words written down. I think it would just send me over the edge. So I am going to not do that. I'm not even tempted to go get a test. I've gotten a little bit jaded, after seeing month after month of negative tests. I figure I'll find out sooner or later. I'm thinking if AF does show up that I'll probably have a 25-day cycle, which means that I will probably, hopefully not, be getting my period Thursday-ish, I think. Something like that. I'm really thinking that this time around I'm going to break down a little bit. So this brings me to my next point. I have gotten to I've gone over to the dark side of being jealous of people who are pregnant, who have gotten pregnant, who have just had kids. I not oddly enough, not within the YouTube community. This is some kind of separate entity in my brain. Yeah, it does not apply. But in my real life, there's this thing that I can't help of being jealous, and it's made it increasingly difficult to watch or to go on to Facebook, because that's like pregnant central, it seems, and or hearing people complaining about their kids. It's like, what, on Facebook, really? Okay. So yeah, that's gotten difficult. Last Tuesday, my uncle, who never ever calls me, not ever. I think in the 7 years that I lived here, he's called me twice, 3 times. He called me, and I'm like, okay. And the minute I heard his voice on the phone, I just knew he was calling to tell me that his wife is pregnant. Mind you, and I do need to, like, rein myself in because I'm being ridiculous. I know that they have been trying for a while. She is closer to 40 than she is to 30. My uncle is closer to 50 than he is to 40. They've been trying for a while. She had to have fibroids removed from her uterus almost 2 years ago. So this pregnancy is a miracle. She also had to have her thyroid removed, so she has all sorts of hormonal issues. And when I went back home to Ecuador in the winter for Christmas, I knew they told me that they were trying, and we were trying too. It's kind of weird to think that hopefully my child and my cousin are going to be so close in age. But it's just, when he told me, first I was happy and then I wanted to cry. Because I think now she's about 7 weeks and 3 days along. And that's just how far along I would be if last cycle had worked out for us. So I couldn't help but get all teary-eyed and just, I don't know. I felt really guilty too for having that reaction, but I just couldn't help. Right, so I had to move my video to the bathroom because it got really choppy towards the end and it didn't make any sense. So I'm going to hopefully edit these two together. Excuse the mess. There are diapers and wipes out there because my husband's godson is staying with us for 3 nights. So yeah. So I was talking about, feeling a bit jealous, and actually, the parents of my husband's godson, they mentioned that they will be trying for a baby this summer. They just got married. You can see my outfit for the wedding. It's still hanging out here, and their first baby wasn't planned, and if she gets pregnant before me, like on their first month trying, that's just going to send me over the edge. It just will, and I know this. And my husband had the same reaction, feels the same way. So yeah, definitely have gotten to that stage. Facebook has become a place of very, very, very cautious behavior. It's full of pregnancy announcements and baby pictures, and it's getting difficult to watch. And I think I'm trying to be the bigger person, but a part of my brain is just going to self-defense mode because we are reaching that deadline that I set out for myself about going in for testing after cycle 12 of trying. And if this cycle doesn't work out, that's after next cycle. And as much as I know up here that we have to go in for testing sooner rather than later, I'm also very scared at that thought. So that's where we are, TTC wise. And then house related news. To those of you who are new to my channel, my husband and I bought a house in February of this year, and we have completely gutted the place, and we are starting from scratch. We've done electricity, plumbing, heating, everything ourselves, and last week was one of our big deadlines because the house needed to be ready for plastering. And that meant that everything that needed to go in the walls needed to be done. And so it was a lot of work, and it was just crazy. And we had kind of hoped, like stupidly enough, that we thought that plastering was going to be like the cherry on the cake, you know. And while I don't find that building, I don't mind it at all. But builders suck. I'd much rather do everything myself than to have people in my house who don't care about the place. And okay, it's not their job to care, but it is their job to listen to the people who are paying them. And that's exactly what didn't happen last week. We ended up with some water damage in our polished concrete floors, and yeah, it was a huge mess. And frankly, I was just heartbroken because we've poured so much energy and we've worked our fingers to the bone. We've in the last 7 weeks, or yeah, something like that, we've been averaging a total of 35 to 40 weeks of 35 to 40 hours of work a week at the house, and that's with the both of us still working full-time jobs. So it's been a lot. And so to go in there on Thursday and see the house just in total mess, I felt violated, honestly. And that was the night when I came home to find Jess's Trail of Kindness videos, so it couldn't have come at a better time. In all fairness though, we bitched and we yelled and we told them that we were not going to take the mess. And they have cleaned up a lot better, and the actual plastering work is really good, but we couldn't see the forest for the trees. It was so messy and just yeah, I just want them out of there. And hopefully they'll be done by tomorrow night, and then they're gone, and then we can slow down the pace, because right now this was a big deadline, and now the kitchen is being delivered on the 23rd, which is a week from Saturday, which just feels crazy to me. And so now we can, go at a slower pace because nobody's coming. Nobody, like, there's not something that needs to happen before then. So we have decided, or I have decided mentally, that we are moving by the end of September. Yeah, so my husband went over tonight. I had to stay here because the baby is here. So, and he said he was so sorry that I couldn't come because it's finally starting to look like something. So, yeah. So the 5-day marathon that we did to get the house ready for the plastering was right after our trip to London. We got back from London on the 29th. I think it was a Wednesday. London is just an amazing city. I felt so home there. It's crazy. I loved it. I would pack up my bags and go tomorrow. Sell the house and go. It's just a lovely city. I loved it. And it was I just felt really comfortable in the city, and we had great weather. But city trips are very, very tiring because you want to do so much, and we only had 4 days, so we walked and walked and walked and walked and did all these things. So when we got home from that trip, and then we had 5 days of straight working at the house, and then back to work, and then friends of ours got married this weekend, and we were in the organizing committee, and I had to do everybody's makeup, and it was great fun, but we've just hadn't had a moment to ourselves. So after the kitchen is delivered, the day after, we are going to the south of France for a week. We got a great deal. We only have to pay our tickets out there. We bought those cheapo tickets, so we get to stay there for free at the villa that um, parents or friends of ours are renting. So that I'm really looking forward to, just being able to lay down, not do anything. The Glee concert in London was amazing. Amazing. It was just, my husband was always saying, like, yeah, I wonder if they can if they can sing that well live, and yeah, they can. It's ridiculous. My only thing was that the show was a little bit on the short side. It was not even 2 hours, which, considering the amount of material that they have, was a little bit surprising. But I would think that there's a lot of copyright issues when doing a show of that magnitude, because they're doing covers for a bunch of artists. But it was really worth it, and I had a blast, and I'm just so glad that we went for it. So yeah, you guys, I don't remember if I said this already, but I will not be testing unless I'm late, and I will post a video at the end of the week telling you guys what happened one way or the other. Again, to the people who have recently subscribed, thank you so much for following us in our journey, and to my trusty subscribers of yore, thank you so much for keeping up with me, and have a great day. Bye. Or night.